The season in early January, gymnasts around the SEC have been working around the clock for this day, their moment, their chance to be an SEC champion. Each week along the way, they've competed with some of the nation's best, sharpening their skills, and tonight they'll put them to the test and lay it all on the line. Last year is the Florida Gators who brought home their first title since 1989. Who will win it all this year? The 2008 SEC Gymnastics Championship starts now. We welcome you to Duluth, Georgia, where the crowd is gathering outside the arena at the Gwinnett Center, where they're hoping to watch the 2008 SEC Gymnastics Championships. Hello again, everybody. Bernie Gunther, great having you with us here today in Duluth, Georgia. You are in for a treat. Some of the top gymnasts in the entire country have gathered here at the arena at the Gwinnett Center. They're hoping to watch a meet which many people call a mini national championship. In fact, 6 teams in the top 13 in the entire country are here, including number 1 and 3, Georgia and Florida. This has been a meet that's been dominated by the Georgia Bulldogs and the Alabama Crimson Tide, but last year the Gators won their first title since 1989. Despite that, the Georgia Bulldogs are looking to try to regain this championship. They're the number 1 team in the entire country, and with more on that, Lori Strong-Ballard.
The Florida Gators come to defend their SEC title with a little more experience and just as much talent. They have a core group of 4 all-around athletes led by Corey Hartung, a 6-time All-American, and with these athletes, the Gators will once again be a force in this competition. But Georgia's Katie Heenan and her senior class most passionately want to bring back this SEC title to Georgia. They are a rare group of athletes who have won every SEC and national championship title available, except for that one SEC championships from last year. Now throw LSU and Alabama in the mix and this competition will heat up. LSU boasts the 3rd-ranked all-arounder in the country in Ashley Claire Kearney. And Ashley told me their team motto this year is to compete like there's nothing to lose, like they are crazy with no reserve. And Alabama, well, they have been proving that they are peaking in these last couple weeks before the championships. And keep in mind the Tide already beat the defending SEC champions Florida this year. So 7 teams will compete in this competition. All can break into the top 3, but 4 teams, Georgia, Florida, LSU, and Alabama, have a legitimate chance of winning this prestigious SEC title.
Well, thanks, Lori. When we come back, we'll kick things off in the 2008 SEC Gymnastics Championships. It's rotation 1 from Duluth, Georgia, right after this. The top athletes in the country are here and marching in at the arena at the Gwinnett Center in Duluth, Georgia. And what a moment for some of those freshmen walking into this arena.
For an athlete, along with the national championships, this is the most exciting event of the year. It is extremely competitive, and the winner of this competition definitely has some bragging rights.
Some anxious moments tonight, but also some anxious moments last night as the competitors found out which apparatus they would get on first. And Lori had the honor of hosting this shindig.
Well, the head coach and an athlete from each team came up to the podium. They had to pick a card, and that determined their starting event. We see Auburn there chose beam as their first event at these SEC championships.
Georgia, the Bulldogs, will finish with a bye in this competition, and the Florida Gators, the defending champions, they'll follow them around in the competition in what has become the strongest top-to-bottom conference in the entire country.
It's going to take the team that's consistent, you know, and not making a mistake. Last year, we won 1 event, and Georgia won 3 events, and Florida won the team title. So, you know, there you go. It's going to be the team that just puts together a great competition and can sustain that momentum. It's a hard meet because you've got those buys when the kids are out and you take a new team out on the floor. You know, if you can maintain momentum, it's a key to this event.
We have the difficulty. We have the depth as far as the strong difficulty. Everybody on floor starting with an E, everybody finishing with a D. We have the 1.5s on vault. Those things we're not concerned with, but what we do have to do is stick those landings, because it doesn't matter how much difficulty you have if you're not completing the execution. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's just subconsciously, I want our team to be prepared for the most difficult thing, which is starting on balance beam. That's where I would love for our team to start. If it's not there, we'll be happy, because I think that is the most difficult place to start.
Great crowd on hand watching this championship and awaiting rotation 1. And what sticks out for you here as you take a look at the draw?
Well, we heard Coach Jocelyn mention that she prepared her team to start on the balance beam. That's what many feel is the most difficult event to start on because of the pressure that comes along with this competition and the pressure that's already there on beam. Georgia will start on floor, so they're going to need to come out with some good energy and some confidence there.
15 gymnastic championships for the Georgia Gym Dogs. They had won 3 in a row up until when the Gators took their title away last year. This is Grace Taylor opening up on floor.
Talk about Georgia needing to show enthusiasm and energy in this first apparatus, but they also need to show control and precision on their landings. Excellent job there, and a whip back to a double pike.
Now, an interesting element to these championships is all 4 apparatuses are going at the same time, so you'll hear cheers from some great performances on all the events.
Second pass is a clean one, a double back. Many call this competition a pressure cooker. It's a 3-ring circus out there. 7 teams are competing. Each team has 3 buys. Georgia will finish on a bye, something that they were not hoping to draw. They prefer to be able to be out on that competition floor and competing for the SEC title.
Well, for the Gym Dogs, Athens just about 50 minutes away, so you'd like to have that crowd behind you for that final rotation.
And Grace is always a crowd favorite when it comes to the Georgia crowd. She has a great personality, extremely bubbly. They're finishing with a 2.5 twist, a little step out on the landing, but overall 3 solid passes and great showmanship.
Nice start for the Georgia Gym Dogs and Grace Taylor.
Now, Grace doesn't have one of those impressive E-level skills, which is one of the most difficult skill levels you can do in college gymnastics, but all 3 passes were of a D level, including this opening pass, which she also added a whip, so she gets combination bonus.
And a score, 9.85. LSU is up next on the bars. They have 1 SEC title, and they're not holding back anything at this year's championship.
Through this year, Dee's been saying that, you know, the times where we don't think about who we're competing against are the times that we do really well. And I think the times that, you know, we're like, okay, we're going against Georgia, our whole mentality is different, so we get scared because, oh, they're ranked higher than us, therefore they must be better than us, when that necessarily is not the case. But this week, that's why Dee instilled that in our head. You know, compete like you're crazy. Go out there and compete. It doesn't matter who you're against because we don't have a defense. We can't do anything about what the other teams do. So if we focus on what we're doing, stay relaxed, and compete like we know how to do because we do it every day, then we'll be successful.
It's a very smart approach. You can only control your own performance, and holding back in gymnastics only makes things go wrong.
Well, we will see Ashley Claire Kearney a little later in this program. She's one of the top all-arounders in the entire country. Right now, it's Susan Jackson on the bars.
Finishing a nice blind change to a Jaeger. There's a bail to handstand, down to the low bar. Excellent job hitting that vertical handstand out of the bail, and that final handstand before the dismount. Dismounts with a beautiful full-in back out and nails the landing. LSU's ranked number 5 in the country on bars. They're going to be looking for strong landings like this one here. Excellent aggressive routine from start to finish.
Great performance for the sophomore from Klein, Texas, a score of 9.825. Now here's our first look at Ashley Claire Kearney. During the regular season, she posted a 10 on both the floor and the vault at Michigan State in the same meet.
And her top score on bars is a 9.95. Both Susan and Ashley Claire Kearney have been LSU's rocks this year. Beautiful combination of a giant full to a sky-high Tkachev. Straddle back down to the low bar, immediately back up to the high bar. Again, the athletes are looking to hit those vertical positions with the handstands. Beautiful full twisting double back dismount. Just a slight movement of her left leg on the landing. This first set of skills not only gives her difficulty bonus, but combination bonus as well. In order to get a 10-0 start value, the athletes are looking for 5/10 of bonus from combination and difficulty.
Claire Kearney starts on the bars with a score of 9.875. When we come back, the Georgia Gym Dogs looking to regain their title, and Katie Heenan looks to become the Georgia all-time leading point scorer after this. Gator fans will have to wait out rotation 1 before they see the defending champions on the floor. Auburn is currently on the beam, and it's our first look at Julie Dwyer, one of the most decorated Auburn Tigers of all time. Natalie Taylor has more on her.
What makes an athlete special? Is it attitude? Is it ability? Is it awards? For Auburn's Julie Dwyer, it's all those and more.
I just get so excited for every single SEC meet. It's just the premier conference as far as gymnastics goes.
Julie Dwyer is a stud, and you know, the kid's gone through 3 complete seasons. She's competed all around every meet except for 1 or 2. I believe she has like 4 falls ever in all those routines. Her hit percentage is unreal.
She is my rock. She is just someone that just, you know, that's going to hit every single time.
But there's a lot more to this Tiger than just her consistency.
The face of Julie Dwyer is synonymous with Auburn gymnastics, and she is everything that we want our kids to be.
It's going to be sad when I'm done, I'm sure. It's going to be hard to deal with, but I hope to still, you know, be a part of the team and be involved in it. It's going to be amazing to look back on too.
The last time Auburn qualified a full team to the national championships was in 2003, and Julie told me that was why she came to Auburn, to make it happen again. As a senior, this is her last shot at it. And remember, this is the starting event for Auburn, the event that they drew first. It is a difficult one, considering the pressure that comes along with this competition and the event itself. A handspring layout, solid. You can see she's being aggressive with her arms on the landing.
She came in and started her career as the freshman of the year in the SEC.
As a sophomore, she was SEC Gymnast of the Year, and last year she was Scholar Athlete of the Year, so she's won all 3 of the major awards in this conference. Front tuck, big skill. Well done, adding a changement in connection. As a whole, Auburn has been fairly consistent on this event throughout the years. They're always very well prepared. Julie is their anchor tonight, finishing with a double twist dismount, slight cross the leg, tiny hop, but a solid routine. So this means 6 strong routines for Auburn, and it gives them a fantastic start to this competition and a huge confident boost as well. Beautiful series, back handspring layout, one of the most difficult ones, and she was being aggressive.
And a 9.85 for the senior from Bloomington, Indiana. Back to the floor, and Katie Heenan, when she was a freshman here, what a performance. She placed on the beam a 9.95 to win it for the Gym Dogs.
To this day, SEC's 2005 is one of my fondest memories from my career here at UGA, and that beam routine is stuck in my memory forever. And just being at SEC's but in Duluth, so that a lot of the fans are Georgia fans, and having that crowd energy, and then ending on beam, which usually is the make or break event, and we were just so solid, and going into that, Suzanne kept saying the meet's not over till Katie dismounts the beam, and it really hit home, stuck that landing. And the crowd going crazy, and to come home with the win, it stuck with me, and I'm excited to come back in here, and it's so familiar, and I can, you know, picture it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, but what about those 3 national titles she won? I guess if Georgia wins a 4th at home in Athens, that just might take over the top spot in her memory bank.
She's wrapping out a pretty amazing senior campaign as well. Perfect 10 against Iowa State.
Opening with a front double twist to a front tuck. Of course, that perfect 10 came just last week, and we have to keep in mind that she didn't compete on floor for most of the season after suffering 2 herniated discs at the end of the season last year. As Georgia coaching staff decided to hold her back a little bit so that she would be fresh and ready for this time of the season when they need her. I talked to her about it, and she said it was well worth the wait. But she is 100% peaking right now.
She has won 2 SEC all-around titles. Hoping maybe tonight's a chance to add a third, but I think the team title even more important to her than the individual one.
Absolutely. For these athletes, the #1 priority is winning for the team. Deep breath, little extra concentration into the final tumbling pass. It's a difficult one, a D-level skill, double pike, great landing. Fantastic routine. Like I said earlier, Georgia wanted to come out here with great enthusiasm and energy, but at the same time show control in their landings. They need to stay in bounds and hold on to every 10th possible. Excellent 3 tumbling passes and great showmanship for Katie Heenan.
9.925 for Katie Heenan. What a start for her, looking to get her 3rd all-around title and bring that championship back to Athens. Courtney McCool up next. She as well had a 10 this season. It came the 2nd to last meet of the year against UCLA. Olympic silver medalist in Athens, Greece for the United States team.
Katie to Courtney, talk about a great 1-2 punch at the end of your floor lineup. Excellent 2.5 twist to a front full. She adds some extra difficulty. We see a lot of the athletes go 2.5 to a front tuck or a front layout. She adds it to a front full. Courtney's attention to detail is fantastic. Take a look, even on her steps. Her toes are pointed. She goes up on releve, up on her toe. All of those details that really make her stand out. You can see that she was a high-class elite athlete. Whip to a clean double twist. Showing some personality. Playing up with the crowd and the music. It's extremely important, especially in a competition of this caliber, to make sure that you are breathing throughout your entire routine. So easy to get caught up in the excitement that you forget to breathe and have no energy for this final tumbling pass. Front double full, excellent job. 1-2 punch for Georgia, excellent.
Katie Heenan followed by Courtney McCool. Both received 10s during the regular season, and both look like they're going to get 9-9s or better here.
Really trying to get this crowd involved in everything they do. That will only help heighten their performance. Now, both Katie and Courtney don't have those huge E skills like the full in or the double layout. They get a lot of their bonus points through combination and difficult twisting elements.
And there it is. 2 9-9s and higher in a row to wrap things up for Georgia. After rotation number 1, they are in the lead, 49.325. But how about the Auburn Tigers? They get the tough draw, but still a 49 on the beam. The defending champion Florida Gators will be on the floor when we come back for rotation number 2. Back in Duluth, Georgia, the site of the 2008 SEC Gymnastics Championship. Alongside Lori Strong-Ballard, Bernie Gunther, great having you with us. Good performances in rotation 1, but now we'll get a chance to see the Florida Gators for the first time here in rotation 2.
And they'll be on the floor, and we'll see a direct comparison of them to Georgia, who we just saw compete there. Kentucky's on the vault, which is a strong event for them. LSU is on the make-or-break event, the balance beam.
And Alabama will start on the bars. 5 SEC gymnastics titles. It's been an up and down year, but they feel they have a chance to go after this 2008 title.
I think for us, we are going to have to make sure that we hit our routines and stick our landings. I think we have some great routines that have higher scoring capabilities. I think the difference is where we're going to have to really make sure that we hit is in the 4, 5, and 6 category.
6 athletes compete per team, and 5 of those scores count towards the team's total, so every athlete must come through with a big performance in a competition this competitive.
Here's a look at Kayla Hoffman. Ricky Lembergen from Alabama fell right before, so extra pressure for her.
Giant full to an outbarred Tkachev. So do another combination with a giant full down to the low bar, bail to handstand, toe circle, back up to the high bar. Excellent job on her handstand. You can see her teammates on the side cheering her on, even for the little moves like the handstands. Nails the landing on her double layout. What a comeback for Alabama. There's the combination into the Tkachev, which is a release element. The athletes are required to do at least 2 release elements in a bar routine. She almost looks like she comes off a little early in that dismount, but the landing was fantastic.
Her first ever SEC championship score, a 9.85 for the freshman. We move now to the beam, and LSU has Nicole Lyons on it. Freshman from Mountaintop, Pennsylvania.
Almost a tiny wobble. Now LSU's had 3 hits so far, but not huge scores on this event. Looking to max out on the score here. Tumble series, back handspring layout. Oh, way off, and this is going to be a fall.
She tried her hardest not to fall off. If she could have stayed on, it would have saved her 2/10.
A major wobble would have given her about a 2 to 3/10 deduction. Of course, the fall is a 5/10 deduction. So it's worth the fight. And that's an uncharacteristic mistake for Nicole Lyons. That is her first fall of the season. And what an inopportune time to have a fall.
Well, the pressure is very high at these championships.
Aerial, solid on that skill. Into the dismount, gainer pike, off the end of the beam, solid on the landing there.
And you can see her disappointment in that routine.
And it's really not that difficult of a tumble series. A back handspring layout. She looks like she's a little shy in her rotation. She lands very heavily on that front leg and is not able to pull up into her lunge position. But again, a very tough fight to the end.
With the fall, 9.225 the score for Nicole Lyons. So that's going to put a lot of pressure on those bottom 2 for LSU. Back to the bars. And Alabama has Cassie Price. She won the all-around this season against Georgia, Florida, Illinois, and Penn State.
Opened with a big release element called a Hindorf. They'll ease the pressure for Alabama, but they need another big hit here. So they don't have to count a fall. And the dismount, no problem. Tiny hop on a double layout. Great routine for Cassie Price. This is the Hindorf, that major release element. It's very similar to a Tkachev, however, you go into it through a free hip position. It's big, it's bold, and it's a very exciting release element.
So after the fall, Alabama finishes 9.85 for Kayla Hoffman and a 9.9 for Cassie Price. LSU now dealing with that same type of pressure. Nicole Lyons has already fell. Now this is Christy Esposito on the beam, a senior from Slidell, Louisiana.
3-time All-American on this event. She has proven her steadiness in even the most difficult situations. 2 back handsprings to a layout, solid as can be. As a freshman, she finished 3rd on beam, 2nd as a sophomore. And LSU needs her now. Turn leg above horizontal. She takes a pause into the gainer layout. Quite often we see her combine those 2 elements. She might be holding back just slightly on some of the skills that she really doesn't need to connect. She will still get a 10-0 start value with the difficulty in the routine.
Is that because of the fall?
Could be because of the fall. Could be a situation where she is feeling some nerves right now. Slight wobble there on her front aerial. It may have been something that Dee Bro, the head coach, told her. Do not connect those two elements. We don't need it. Don't take the risk. And the dismount, a double back, again, fighting for the landing. Here's the tumble series. She does a great job of pushing down the beam. That helps keep her straight down that 4-inch wide beam. Also gives her rhythm and power into the landing.
A score of 9.825. When we come back, can the Gators win back-to-back championships? They'll be on the floor after this. Back in Duluth, Georgia, 2008 SEC Gymnastics Championships. The Gators are up next on the floor. They have 6 titles. Rhonda Fain in her 6th season. Feels like the Gators in great position for back-to-back.
You know, we've really done a great job, I think, of pacing our athletes and making sure that we were able to rest our key performers when we had the opportunity. I think building off of our last dual competition that we had against Utah was great for our athletes, and it's helped prepare them mentally and physically and feel like we're building in the right direction where we want to be this year, where we're going to peak actually at nationals.
Last year, Florida spent 11 of 12 weeks in that #1 spot in the nation. They felt that they almost peaked a little bit early at the SEC Championships and just didn't have the energy or the enthusiasm come national championships. They've had 2 bye weeks in the last month, and that has helped slow their pace down a little bit and give them a little more training time.
Here's a look at Corey Hartung, the 6-time All-American for the Gators, All-SEC in 2006 and 2007. She talked about the confidence for the Gators taking down Utah. As we mentioned before, 2 out of the top 3 teams in the entire country are in the SEC. Utah is that other team in the top 3 in the country.
They're definitely a contender for the national championships this year, as well as Florida and Georgia and Alabama. First 2 passes for Corey were twisting elements. She's not known for her huge power. For her, it is about her flexibility, her ballet training, her beautiful lines. She makes her difficulty through the twisting elements. A front double full and a triple twist in her first 2 passes. Final tumbling pass, a whip to a 2.5 twist, so she gets combination bonus. Connecting the whip to a D-level skill, the 2.5. A very unique look to this athlete. Extremely pleasing.
She led the Gators this year, 20 event titles, including 5 of them on the floor.
Corey has 3 twisting passes, showing both forward and backward twisting elements. The opening pass is an E-level skill. It's a front with a double twist. A little bit of a cross in the legs, but sometimes at full speed, it's tough for the judges to notice that.
Not a bad score, 9.875. And back to the beam. Ashley Claire Kearney, certainly one of the favorites, has a chance to bring back the all-around title to LSU.
So twisting straddle jump, it's called a popa. Anytime you add twists to jumps, it increases the difficulty and the risk level. Going to see another twisting jump there in the tuck position.
She's currently in the top 25 in the country in all 4 events. But the beam is not one of her strongest 2.
Slight wobble on her tumble series there, but it's a difficult one. A back handspring to 2 layouts. In dual meets, the athletes are judged by 2 judges per event, but once you get to the championship portion of the season, there are 4 judges per event. The high and low are dropped, and the middle 2 are averaged. So it's that much more difficult to get that perfect 10 at the SEC Championships and the Nationals as well. Side aerial. Ashley's looking extremely confident up on the balance beam, like she has all year long on all of her events. She's a top all-arounder. Taking a look at one of the required connections here. 2 dance elements, or leaps and jumps, connected. A little shy of 183 split on that switch leap.
And 9.85 the score for Ashley Claire Kearney. Back to the floor. Amanda Castillo, 3rd overall in the all-around at NCAA's last year. She was the SEC Freshman Gymnastics Athlete of the Year, just the third Gator to be given that award behind Betsy Ham and Orly Smooch.
Exceptional opening pass, an E-level skill. That's a piked full in. Now Amanda's known as the little firecracker. She's very vocal and confident in everything she does, and that personality shines in her floor routine. Extreme speed in her tumbling as well. A whip back to a double back. Power and speed are so important in being a strong tumbler.
She was the SEC floor exercise champion a year ago as a freshman. This is certainly one of Florida's stronger events, the floor.
I heard Rhonda mention that they all open with E-level first passes, finish with D-level skills, so the difficulty levels there, the performance is also very pleasing. Worked hard on their choreography this year. Now tumbling pass, a clean double pike and a solid landing. It's fun, it's entertaining, and an exceptional routine for Amanda Castillo. Opening pass gains her 2/10 of bonus. She does a full in the pike position, which also, by doing it in the pike position, makes it look that much cleaner. This, again, will be the routine to beat.
A score 9.95, so the Gators finished with a 49.375 on the floor. A little bit better than Georgia, of course. LSU has completed 2 rotations, so they currently in the lead with a 97.875. Rotation number 3 will be underway from Duluth right after this. 2008 SEC Gymnastics Championship continues with rotation 3. Georgia now moves to the vault. Rachel Thompson of Auburn, her Tigers will be on the floor.
Now Georgia will compete without Courtney Kupets, the national vault champion who tore her Achilles tendon just a few weeks ago. They're a little unsure of their first and second up athletes. Alabama heads to the crucial beam, and Auburn, after hitting beam, can really let loose on floor now.
So Lauren Sessler has competed in this event just 5 times this season.
They just had a tough decision on whether to put Lauren Sessler in or Hillary Morrow. If Sessler hits, she can score higher than Morrow. She's on her feet, but a big step back on the landing. That was Yurchenko half into a front layout. Scored out of a 10.
Out of those 5 times, 2 of her scores were in the very low 9s.
Couple tenths deduction here, a little flat off the horse, and of course a full 2/10 deduction on that big step.
9.7. This has been an event that Georgia certainly wants to get better at, especially headed towards the national championships. Back to the floor, and the Auburn Tigers, they've been very good so far, very consistent, and this is a look at Lindsey Puckett, junior from nearby Lilburn, Georgia.
Tuck, step out, round back handspring, double back. Lindsey's having a fantastic year this year. She's increased her difficulty, but more importantly, she is competing with a higher level of confidence and consistency. She's really taking control of her gymnastics.
It's a great night for her. She grew up competing a club team for Gwinnett Gymnastics. She's got a great contingent of family and friends cheering her on tonight.
This makes an exciting event that much more pleasing for the athlete when you know you've got a huge group behind you. Whip half, front full, front tuck, 3 directly connected salto elements. Finishing with a strong double pike, plenty of energy right to the end of this floor routine. Very entertaining.
Lindsey Puckett trying to join forces with Julie Dwyer for that dream of bringing this team to the NCAA championships, and halfway through, they're very good.
Yeah, their goal tonight was to hit 24 for 24 routines, and so far, they have not had a single fall. This counts off another strong event for Auburn.
posted 249 pluses and an individual score of 9.875 for Lindsey Puckett. Back to the vault. Katie Heenan, a perfect 10 already this season against Arkansas.
And she nails it. That looked almost exactly like that perfect 10 earlier this season. And it certainly got this Georgia crowd riled up.
Wow, what a vault for Katie Heenan.
But remember, championship portion of the season, there are 4 judges looking at this vault from different angles. So at least 3 judges must agree that this is a perfect 10.
Oh, and so close, 9.950. In fact, one of the judges did give her a perfect 10. Now finally Tiffany Tolnay for the Georgia Gym Dogs.
Add an extra half twist, doing the 1.5 twist, just a tiny step on the landing, but an excellent vault. Strong score from Katie. This one will be a big score as well, but keep in mind that Georgia had 3 vaults in that 9-7 range that will pull down their vaulting score. They are definitely hurting without Courtney Coupets in this lineup. Great job for Tiffany there.
They finished with a 9.9 from Tiffany Tolnay, a 49.225 on the vault. Alabama on the beam after this. Alabama up next on the beam in the 3rd rotation. For them, it's been an inconsistent season, but 2 straight 197 plus performances going into this championship have given the Crimson Tide some great confidence.
Being able to hit the 197 mark is such a goal for any team in the SEC and even around the country for that. So it really helped us out a lot, just even throughout the weeks, like just training and everything, just putting pressure on ourselves through every practice to make sure that we can sustain those scores.
Alabama suffered a few losses in the mid part of the season, and Sarah Patterson feels that it has made them a stronger team, that they fought back after those losses, and now they are definitely on a roll heading into these championships.
Here is Casey Overton, the sophomore from Virginia Beach, Virginia. She has certainly been on a roll. In fact, she scored a career-high 9.875 the last 3 meets in a row on this apparatus.
The leadoff for Alabama, which we mentioned over and over this year, that is a very important role in terms of setting the pace and setting your teammates at ease. Switch to a wolf jump. So far, not a single wobble throughout this routine.
She's actually won a beam title from the leadoff spot twice this season.
To maintain her focus. Very cool into a front kick over. Pace of the routine is a little bit slow, taking her time to concentrate on every element. Big dismount though, round off double pike. Very strong start for the Tide. Let's take a look at that dismount. It's an E-level skill. One of the most difficult dismounts that we are seeing these college athletes perform. She does a double back in the pike position.
And a new career high comes at the SEC Championships for Casey Overton, 9.9. Our first look at the Arkansas Lady Backs.
Arkansas already has 1 fall on this event. They are looking for a hit here. Line change to a Jaeger.
Allison Daniels on bars, just a sophomore.
Toe on. Her foot slips off on one of the most simple elements of her bar routine. She hits the major connection of the blind change to the Jaeger and makes a mistake on her skill leading to the high bar. 2 steps out on the landing of her double layout. Another miss for Arkansas. They will be forced to count one of these low scores. Take a look at her left foot. It slips from the bar on her toe circle. She didn't quite hit that vertical position on the bail to handstand, so she was rushed into the next element, and she lost control.
And Arkansas will need to count that low score. Back to the beam, and Morgan Dennis for Alabama. Dennis, the 15th best all-arounder in the country.
Beautiful rise on her front aerial. She adds a changement in combination. Crucial set of skills coming up here. Maintaining focus, back handspring, layout loud. Again, nice lift. Morgan is known for her great power. We'll see that later on floor. Shy of 180-degree split in her leap and jump combination. Required element, a full turn. Like Georgia, the Tide is competing without a key athlete in Taryn Humphrey, an Olympic medalist and the national bar champion. Taryn has been out most of this year with a back injury. This Alabama team has had to pull together. And so far, they are doing a fantastic job on beam. Again, another difficult double back dismount, just a step out on the landing.
What a routine for Alabama on beam.
This routine had great difficulty from start to finish. Here's that tumble series, back handspring, layout. Beautiful flight time in the air, and her form is impeccable.
And her score, the third 9.9 for the Crimson Tide in the third rotation. So they're helping Alabama keep pace with the Georgia Bulldogs, who lead this competition after 3 rotations. When we come back, it'll be rotation 4 here at the arena at the Gwinnett Center. Judges getting themselves set for rotation 4 here inside the arena at the Gwinnett Center. Georgia currently in the lead after 3 rotations, followed by Alabama. And Auburn has hit 12 of 12 routines so far. They have a 98.025. Alongside former Olympian Lori Strong-Ballard, Bernie Gunther with you. As Kentucky getting set, they will be on the bars here in rotation 4.
Florida on the vault, and with good landings, they can outscore Georgia here. And LSU heads to the floor after a struggle on the beam. They hope to pull up their scores there.
But first, our first look at the Kentucky Wildcats, currently ranked 20th in the country. And this is Emily Reimer.
Athletic gymnast, giant fold, blind change into a piped Jaeger. Nice height and distance on that release element. And Emily's part of that sophomore class that has been a huge contribution to this Kentucky team. Right fold, double tuck, must get the stuck landing. Good job. This is one of Kentucky's best bar workers here. She had a nice combination to start with, and I really liked that piped Jaeger. She made it look easy. Good height and distance.
9.775 the score for the sophomore. Now here's a look at Arkansas and Casey Jo McGee on the beam.
Difficult mount, round off, layout, step out.
Casey Jo McGee, she earned a trip to the NCAA championships last year as an individual. That's a tough thing to accomplish.
Having had a fantastic year this year as well. Tough series here. She does a round off layout step out, makes it look easy. Most of the athletes do their tumble series out of a back handspring layout or some combination of that. Big difficulty there as well, a double turn instead of a full turn. More difficulty with an aerial and a solid landing. Just the dismount left. Round off, double twist, pretty clean. A little cross of the legs at the end of the double twist and a tiny hop. But a good routine for Casey Jo McGee. You know, after a miss on vault in her first event, she's come back strong in the last 2 events. She's known as a good all-arounder. Solid across 4 events.
Casey Jo McGee, a score of 9.850 for Arkansas on the beam. Now to the floor, and Susan Jackson. Her and Ashley Claire Kearney have provided a 1-2 punch that have placed LSU in the top 5 in the country.
Tumbling pass, a difficult one. A double layout, and she holds it inbounds. You can see that she stepped on that white line, which is allowed. If they step over the line, it's a 1/10 deduction. Leg separation into her popa. And there's her signature back head spring. Has just a little style, a little personality to her routine. Very athletic and very quick. That helps on this event. Showing off some front tumbling in that pass, a front double twist to a front pike.
She's come close to being perfect this season. She scored a 9.975 in the regular season, just about as close as you can get without getting that perfect 10.
Susan has struggled with injuries at the start of last year, but then developed into a solid all-arounder by the end of the year, and that has continued throughout this year as well. An aggressive, high-energy last tumbling pass, a double pike. An exciting routine.
Dee Dee Bro excited about what she saw from Susan Jackson.
Of course, we saw that athletic ability in all three of her tumbling passes. The opening one is an E-level skill, the double layout. She finishes with a D-level skill right there, a double pike.
9.875 for Susan Jackson. The Gators and the Tigers will have their stars competing right after this. LSU fans excited. They get a chance to see their star here, Ashley Claire Kearney, looking to become the first Tiger since Rachel Fergie in 1991 to bring the all-around title back to Baton Rouge.
He tells me that Ashley is in the best shape of her career. Good fitness always helps on this event. She's worked hard at her conditioning. It's paying off. Opening with a huge double layout, again making it look easy. That is one of the most difficult tumbling passes a gymnast can do.
Remember, she has a perfect 10 on this event, part of that magical evening where she had a 10 on both the vault and on the floor against Michigan State.
Double pike, and she actually opens it for the landing. Last year, Ashley was one of the best vaulters in the country and one of the top all-arounders, and they headed out to Utah for the national championships, and she has sport-induced asthma, and of course, the elevation that comes with Utah affected her performance level there, so I think she's really looking forward to proving herself at these national championships, which will be held in Athens, Georgia this year.
Well, her RQS, or basically her average score placer right now, is the 8th best floor worker in the country.
Lip half, front 1.5, that's called a Rudy. 3 clean tumbling passes, big difficulty and power, and extremely entertaining as well.
What a night so far for Ashley Claire Kearney.
It's so impressive, the level of confidence that she is performing with right now. She's a vocal leader on this LSU team, but also leads by example and hard work.
And a score of 9.95, so she's leading them in point scoring tonight as well. And she's placed herself in a great position to try to bring home that all-around title. Back to the vault. And the Gators and Amanda Castillo.
Starting with Amanda, Florida's last 3 vaulters all do 1.5 twisting vaults. Makes it a little more difficult to stick the landing than the full twist. There it is. Yuchenko layout with a 1.5 twist. She takes a step back on the landing. 1/10 deduction. The Florida's raising the bar in terms of their difficulty on this event. The Yuchenko style vault, we're seeing many of them tonight. That means they do a round off onto the vaulting board. There's a blind reach back onto the table, and Amanda does a 1.5 from the table to the mat.
9.875 for Castillo, who was an All-American on the vault last year. And now here's a look at Ashley Reed, 3-time All-American, 10 collegiate all-around titles, and a senior for the Gators.
Also performing the Yuchenko 1.5. Oh, beautiful lift from the table and a stuck landing. Outstanding vault. The difference here between Amanda and Ashley's vault is the lift from the table. Take a look right here. You see her get a good strong push before she initiates the twist. That gives her good direction, and that means a solid landing.
And a score of 9.950 for Ashley Reed. Gators are 49.375 on the vault. So they have moved in front of Georgia through 2 rotations. Of course, LSU and Arkansas have both completed 3 rotations. Gator fans on their feet. The Gators will be on the bye when we come back and take a look at the 5th rotation. We welcome you back to Duluth, Georgia, the site of the 2008 SEC Gymnastics Championships. Back alongside Lori Strong-Ballard, Bernie Gunther with you. And halfway through the meet, we've really got our sights set on 3 teams now, Lori.
Well, the top 2 teams, Georgia and Florida, were equally impressive on floor. I was quite impressed with Georgia's enthusiasm and their energy level and performance on that first event. But again, their depth on vault really hurt them. They are without the national vault champion, Courtney Kupets, who tore her Achilles tendon, and that hurt them slightly there. But Suzanne told me that if they were within 2/10 of each other after those first 2 events of competition, then it's game on.
And for Alabama, they've really kept themselves in this competition with their performance on the beam. They start off with a 9-9, they finish with a 9-9. Let's get back to the action here inside the arena at the Gwinnett Center. Here's a look at the lineup for rotation 5. Georgia is on the bars. The Auburn Tigers will be on the vault, and their head coach, Jeff Thompson, in his 9th season on the Plains, looking to try to bring the Tigers to one of their best finishes in recent history.
What a total different team. You know, they're having so much fun this year. That's been, you know, not the main focus, but it's been a lot of it. And you know, they come in, they work hard every day, but you know, I act like a goofball and I tell stupid Kroner jokes and just make it lighthearted, because what they do is so difficult and so demanding that if it's not fun, then they're not going to give you their best work. So I expect them to go out there and be great.
Well, they must be having a lot of fun tonight because they have been great so far. Auburn brings a very different team to these SEC championships. Last year, they were hit with so many injuries, and they were extremely depleted in their depth. Beautiful vault for Lindsey Puckett, a Yurchenko full. This year, they have the confidence and the depth.
And they've hit every routine so far tonight.
They are building off some confidence that started just a week ago when they competed against Alabama and hit 24 for 24 routines. Lindsey is extremely explosive on that vault, and take a look at the score.
9.9 for Lindsey Puckett. The Georgia Bulldogs moving to the bar. Suzanne Yacklin, 25 years of success for the Georgia Gym Dogs.
That's it! Wow, that was great, you guys! Woo! You know, winning championships is definitely a combination of a lot of things. And how we've done it 8 times in 8 different ways. We go into each season with one goal in mind: find out the needs of the athletes, meet the needs of the athletes, and teach them to be so mentally tough and so mentally confident that they will reach their potential. I mean, you got to be adaptable and be able to go back and forth with skills.
Working on that.
All right, 9-9. Every elite athlete in collegiate gymnastics works hard. They wouldn't be where they are today if they didn't. So that's not where our success comes from. It comes from the mental toughness. It comes from the team chemistry. It comes from knowing how to win. And it's a very contagious attitude that can be taught. You can't behave a certain way unless you think a certain way. And you think first, and then you have beliefs, and then you have behavior. And I want our teams to walk onto the floor with an air of confidence that I'm a champion all the time. Yeah! So what's interesting about every team is that there are different personalities. And this team, I like diverse teams. You know, I don't have any interest in coaching little clones.
Get into it, Suzanne!
McCall, the pressure's on. We need to suck this mouth. If you are mentally tough, you will be able to do the job when you have to do the job, and you need to do it tomorrow when we get here on vaulting. People say I'm intense, yes. People say they don't like me. I guess I have said things that I shouldn't have said before. I've said, you know, we're unbeatable when I think we're unbeatable. I say that. You know why I say that? Because I want to send confidence to our team. There is no one that they're going to get more confidence from than the head coach. No one. I believe that kind of response and that kind of energy and that kind of statement is effective if you're respected.
Respected she is. It will be sad to see one of the sport's pioneers and legends retire. Suzanne Yacklin says she will step down as head coach of the Gym Dogs next year. She is by far the most dominant coach in the conference.
Her team has won 3 consecutive national championships out of the 28 SEC championships. She has won over half. And here she has one of her best gymnast, Courtney McCool, on the bars.
Courtney joined this lineup late this year. She's struggled with wrist injuries that have kept her out of bars. In fact, she competed bars for the first time this season since the 2004 Olympic Games. Huge dismount there, and she sticks the landing. That is a full twisting double layout. Most of the athletes here are doing just the double layout. She pumps up that difficulty by adding a full twist. Again, we see her signature beautiful form and toe point throughout this entire routine. A huge score for Georgia.
9-9, the score for Courtney McCool. Back to the vault. Julie Dwyer looking to cap off her career with something very special.
And looking to build on that 9-9 from Lindsay Puckett just earlier. Yurchenko half front layout finds a perfect landing. Look at the excitement on this Auburn team. They are executing just the way they hoped tonight. This is a Yurchenko half front layout. She does a half turn, a forward rotation in the laid out position. It's a blind landing, which means it's that much more tough to nail it clean like she did.
And back-to-back 9-9s for the Auburn Tigers. We'll continue with Georgia on the bars after this. We are midway through rotation 5, and what a performance the crowd has seen so far. Grace Taylor now up on the bars. She had a perfect 10 as well in that Iowa State meet. And there's a lot of pressure right now on the Georgia Gym Dogs. Nikki Childs led off with a fall and had a score of 9.3. They're in a tight competition between the Gators and Alabama, and they need a big score here.
Well, since then they scored a 9.85, a 9.9, and a 9.95. Beautiful Comanche salto for Grace Taylor. With this routine, she can certainly build on that big 9.95. The last Georgia score put up, and a stuck landing on her double layout. Big smile. Suzanne Yocklin, and there is associate head coach Jay Clark. They love it. Let's take a look at that dismount. What a great job she does of pulling the bar down before the release. That gives her beautiful height, a nice stretch position in the air, but it's the height and the pull down on the bar that got her the landing and a big score.
Grace under pressure, and Taylor a 9.95. Katie Heenan up next on the bar. She is still recovering from a back injury, which she sustained a year ago.
The injury is there, and it's always been there, but we've been doing everything we possibly can to make it not a problem and not any kind of distraction for me or anyone else. And it's what we've been doing has been working, which I am so grateful for everybody who's helped me through that. And so I've been able to gradually get back, and I think that that's almost been better for me. Instead of competing every weekend, I'm kind of, hitting my stride a little bit later.
Katie competed almost every all-around competition last year for the Gym Dogs, but the coaches have been very patient and very smart in holding her back this year. They need her at 100% right now.
She's in a race to win her third consecutive SEC all-around title.
And speaking of racing, it's so important for her not to get ahead of herself, to feed into that adrenaline of the competition so far, because that will throw her timing off, especially on those release elements. Stick to her technique, into the dismount, double front, slight over rotation, and a step on the landing. It was almost perfect until that final dismount. She has nice stretch in everything she does, pushing out through her shoulders. Good technique and form. Just a slight over rotation of the double front and a step for a 1/10 reduction.
9.850. Katie Heenan adds that to a 9.925 on the floor and a 9.95 on the vault. Speaking of the floor, we move back to it, and Kayla Hoffman mentioned how it's been an up and down year for Alabama, but she has been a mainstay as a freshman. She has won 14 titles, and her scores have led the Tide 17 times.
Kayla's a definite contender for that Freshman of the Year honor here at the SEC Championship. Opening with a piked full in. Nice difficulty to start the routine off. Very Remember, Alabama comes to floor after an amazing effort on the balance beam, so their confidence level will be way up. They can truly go out there and enjoy themselves and perform. 2.5 to a front pike, no problem on the landing there. Nice choice of music for this type of athlete. She's graceful, but also extremely powerful. Switch leap to a terre half. This can get bonus points not only through their tumbling runs, but also through their jump and leap connections as well. Taking a deep breath before this final tumbling pass. Good, stretching her round off back handspring and a solid double pike. Wow, what a great routine for the Tide.
The freshman, Kayla Hoffman, showcasing her skills.
Kayla performed throughout this routine, and she attacked every single tumbling pass like it was no problem. You can see that she is conditioned and her endurance level is very high. She opened with an E-level full in, back out. See the full twist in the first rotation, and the back out is in a pike position.
Oh, and a score, 9.9 for the freshman, Kayla Hoffman. That'll help out the Crimson Tide, and now Morgan Dennis will try to close things off for Alabama in their third rotation. Of the 42 events she has competed in this season, just one has she not hit.
She is the defending national floor champion, and you'll see why with this opening pass. We've seen a couple double layouts tonight, but this has to be one of the highest of the evening. We have several athletes in this conference who could contend for that national floor title this year. It'll be an exciting event to watch. Second tumbling pass, a full in, back out. Another E-level skill in the middle of a routine. Working the music and the choreography, trying to pull in the crowd to her performance. Abstract music matched with some abstract dance. Final tumbling pass. Front tuck, step out. Makes it look easy to a double tuck. Outstanding routine. Alabama's on fire tonight.
What a finish. Kayla Hoffman and Morgan Dennis. Alabama very solid at the end. Crowd wanting a 10.
This opening pass was a stunner. Two rotation in the laid out position. That makes the rotation that much more difficult because your body is at its longest in the laid out position.
Score 9.95. So Alabama and Kayla Hoffman and Morgan Dennis helped them to finish with a 49.4 on the floor. Georgia, Alabama, LSU, 3/4 of the way home, and it's the Gym Dogs in the lead. Rotation 6 right after this. It all comes down to this. 2 rotations left out of 7. We're on rotation 6. LSU on the vault, the Gators on the bars, and the Georgia Gym Dogs finish up their final rotation on the beam. But for LSU tonight, what a night. Ashley Claire Kearney trying to become the first Tiger since 1991 to bring home the all-around title.
LSU said they came to compete like they're crazy, and that's exactly what Ashley Claire Kearney has done. She has been their source of stability all night. 3 strong events, powerful tumbling on the floor, and just one more to go.
A 9.875 on the bars, 9.85 on the beam, 9.95 on the floor, and now she's set for her best event, the vault.
Another one of those athletes we have seen score a perfect 10 this year. Incredible power. Performing the layout full, scored out of a 10, obviously. Executed very well. Almost a hop on the landing, but she fought for it. Very little deduction there. Now she is training a 1.5, but both the full and the 1.5 are scored out of a 10, so why take the risk? She is training it, though, for the National Championship Finals.
9.925, so she has an overall all-around score of a 39.6. Georgia, after a one-year absence with not having an SEC Championship trophy in Athens, looking to bring it back. This is their final step. They need a solid performance here on the beam. And up first, they have Nikki Childs, a senior.
Childs was the athlete first up on bars for Georgia, who missed her routine. Just trying to prove a little something here with her balance beam. Back handspring layout, solid and confident. Switch ring. Very nice performance style. Move to a front aerial, trying to dance through a potential wobble. Keeps the routine moving, and that's definitely pleasing. There's not a lot of stops and starts. There's her signature moonwalk. The crowd loves it. Throw back to Michael Jackson. Pushing through to the dismount. Back handspring, gainer full. Hops on the landing, gives away about a 1/2 tenth right there. Barely takes time to set up for the dismount, and most of her skills throughout this routine, and that kept the rhythm moving, and it really shows that she's confident on this event as well.
But for Nikki Childs, what a comeback after a fall on the bar. She scores a 9.85 on the beam. Gators up next on the bars. Wanda Fain's squad trying to win back-to-back championships, but not taking anything for granted.
It's really important that we stress with our athletes that this year is a brand new year, and to not rely on last season and winning last year. Knowing that we're the defending champions, that should bring inspiration and confidence as far as knowing that we're capable of doing that again and repeating. However, you just never really want to rely on that, because the second you do that, you're lost.
That SEC win is something they will always own and be proud of, but they're keeping it in perspective, knowing this is a new year. They must prove themselves again.
Miranda Smith is up first on the bars. Last year, she competed for UCLA.
With the Shaposhnikova. Out bar to Kachev. Handstand to handstand on the low bar. It's a balancing handstand. So far clean and doing a great job with her handstand work. Here's the dismount, a double front with a 1/2 out, almost fine for landing. 1/10 deduction on the step, but a clean routine. Had some nice difficulty and some nice combinations in the routine. And of course, I love the dismount where she adds a 1/2 turn to the double front.
And a score of a 9.825. The Gators will continue on the bars in the 6th rotation after this. The 6th rotation continuing here in the 2008 SEC Gymnastics Championship. And Nicola Willis up next for the Gators on the bars. She represented Great Britain at the 2004 Olympic Games.
With tremendous experience at the highest level. It'll pay off here in this high-pressure competition.
She's a senior now and had 4 collegiate best marks set this season.
Giant full into her Ginger release element. The dismount, gaining speed in the Giants. It's double layout. She nails the landing. Outstanding routine. You know, I think Florida hoped to pick up more ground on their floor and vault, so they need to keep pushing forward with great routines like this. Georgia's great bars puts a little pressure on them. Nice combination of a giant full to a Ginger release element, getting combination bonus, and that all adds up.
9-9, that'll help for the Gators. Nicola Willis back to the beam. And Grace Taylor, second at the NCAA championships last year on this apparatus.
This is a high score of a 9.9975, and Suzanne told me she believes Grace will score a perfect 10 at some point in her career. She's really beautiful on this event when she's on. Take a look at the tumble series here. A little bit unique. She does a one-arm back handspring into a layout that lands 2 foot. Doing a back handspring with one arm, it takes it from a B-level skill to a C-level skill. Nice execution in her jumps. A switch leap to a straddle jump, hitting that full split, and again, showing off her tremendous flexibility right there. And she enjoys wowing the crowd. Turn leg above horizontal in connection to a gainer layout. Wobble there. This is Georgia's final competitive event. They need to rack up as many points as possible because the next rotation, they will be sitting out on a bye and there's nothing that they can do. Concentration before the dismount. She tumbles into it. 2 back handsprings. The last one is 2 foot into a double twist. Nails the landing. Just that one wobble in the routine. Outstanding. Here's that tumble series. She does a one-arm back handspring on her right arm into a layout, landing 2 foot. She's aggressive with it. Nice job throughout the entire routine.
9-9 for Grace Taylor. Good score on the beam. Back to the bars, and Ashley Reed, a senior from Davie, Florida.
Again, it's so easy to get that burst of adrenaline in a competition like this. You need to stick with your technique that you've practiced all year. There it is, off on her release element. It's Tkachev. A little too high, a little too far. She was unable to regrasp the bar. 5/10 deduction. Continue the routine from the point where she would have regrasped the bar. Pirouette, fail to handstand. Big miss for Florida here. Double out dismount, knees buckle on the landing. Ashley had some struggles at the start of the season on bars, but the second half of the season she has been so strong and consistent. But here she just overdoes it on this release element. You can see she taps a little too high before she releases and counter rotates backwards. Too far, too high to regrasp.
And her score of a 9.175 is going to put a lot of pressure on the final 3 Gator gymnasts on the bars. The Georgia Bulldogs finish on the beam. The SEC Gymnastics Championship, Georgia on the beam. Katie Heenan looking for her 3rd SEC all-around title. Remember, in 2005, she finished with a career-high 9.95 on the beam to win the title for the Georgia Gym Dogs. Trying to wrap up her senior year and bring home the individual and the team title.
Series coming up, back handspring, layout, no problem.
She needs a 9.875 to tie the current score by Ashley Claire Kearney. A 9.9 would put her in the overall lead for the all-around.
Of course, a 9.9 is definitely a capable score for Katie Heenan. 2005, she scored a 9.95, as mentioned, which also gave her the beam title. Solid front tuck. Required full turn. Definitely needs to nail this landing to get the 9.9. Sticks a double twist out of a round off, a little bit of a leg deduction in the air. Another look at that tumble series. She sits back nicely into the back handspring, travels down the beam, stays square, and a solid landing.
And the score so close, 9.850, so not enough to move ahead of Ashley Claire Kearney. But still, for the team score, certainly helping out A lot of good scores posted by Georgia. Back to the Gators, who are on the bars. And currently, this is Melanie Sinclair who's going to wrap up this routine.
Outstanding Hindorf to start the routine off. The Gators are trying to get back on track after their last athlete suffered a fall. The second release element is called a ginger. Excellent job on her last handstand. Here comes the dismount. She just attacks it. It's a double layout, nails the landing. That's the way to pull the Gators up.
What a finish for Melanie Sinclair as a redshirt freshman. She was 5th at the NCAA Championships in this event.
Her confidence on this event is just outstanding. Beautiful height and distance on that Hindorf. She takes it straight up, counter rotates, and regrafts very nicely with plenty of swing.
A score of a 9.950 keeps the Gators in contention for the team title. And finally up on beam for the Georgia Gym Dogs, Courtney McCool, Olympic silver medalist in Athens.
Doing a mount that's named after her, called the McCool, wobbles out of it, trying to connect the double stag jump. Beautiful execution of her front aerial into a back handspring layout, but wobbles again there. Georgia cannot compete beam just to stay on. They need to execute. They need to minimize those wobbles and gain every 10th they can. Remember, they will be sitting out that final rotation. Well, Alabama is on the vault, while Florida is finishing on the balance beam. Turn, leg up. Job on her switch side, again looking for that full split position. With the music in the background, that is someone performing their floor routine. We talked earlier about this being a 3-ring circus, so much going on, cheers coming from the crowd. At any moment in your routine, you must stay focused. Dismount, double fold, beautiful landing. Another great landing for Georgia, but a few wobbles throughout the routine here. This is the 6th and final hit for Georgia on the beam, but again, we saw a few wobbles throughout their beam lineup. It'll cost them a couple tenths, something that they cannot afford to give away at this point. Beautiful job of the front aerial into the back handspring layout, but again, 1/10 deduction on the wobble.
A score of a 9.875 for Courtney McCool. So the Georgia Gym Dogs, they've got the clubhouse lead. The score to beat to win the SEC Championship, 197.35. The Gators and the Alabama Crimson Tide will have a chance to go after that in the 7th and final rotation. But for Georgia, LSU, and Arkansas, time to sit back and relax. Rotation 7 will come right after this. Getting set for the 7th and final rotation of the 2008 SEC Gymnastics Championship. The score to beat, 197.35 set by Georgia. Will they win their 3rd title in 4 years? Or will it be Florida or Alabama, who are both up in the 7th rotation?
And as we saw earlier, Auburn and Kentucky mathematically cannot take over Georgia. Florida's nerves will be tested as they head to beam under pressure, and Alabama's in a good position heading to vault, one of their strongest events.
First up, we'll see Lindsey Puckett go for the Auburn Tigers. They've had a pretty fantastic night. Their highest finish ever was 3rd. That came twice. So far, they've hit every routine they've competed at.
Lindsey's having a stunning night as well, and overall, I'd say this is probably one of Auburn's best SEC championships in a long while. Short on her final handstand. Gaining speed into her dismount. Another double layout. We've seen many of those dismounts tonight. It's a good, strong, difficult dismount. She had a pretty solid landing, and what a great competition for Lindsey Puckett and the Auburn Tigers. a look at that dismount. It's so important to gain that almost elliptical speed over the bar in your giants. That creates that rotation for 2 rotations in the laid out position.
9.8 to go along with a 9.85 on the beam, a 9.875 on the floor, and a 9.9 on the vault. Back to Alabama. They're on the vault. Ricky Lebergan.
Alabama needs a 49.5 on the vault to beat Georgia. That's about a 9.9 average. A difficult task, but something that they are capable of, especially with vaults like that. And absolutely nailed Yurchenko layout with a 1.5 twist. You can't get any better than that. Or at least you can't get any better than that in terms of a stuck landing. This vault was maybe just a tad flat compared to the other 1.5 twisting vaults, especially Ashley Reed from Florida. A little flat coming off the vaulting table, but what an incredible landing on a tough vault.
And a score, 9.95. Lebergan has given the Alabama Crimson Tide a chance. We turn our attention to the floor, and Kentucky's Heather Height, a junior all-arounder in Parksburg, West Virginia.
First tumbling pass, a double pike. Talked all year about Heather Height overcoming several injuries, some surgeries to her knee. She's done an impressive job this year for the Kentucky Wildcats. A team that is fairly young and continues to improve. Their ultimate goal this year is to qualify to the national championships. Well, they are not in contention to win this SEC title. They are looking for a good score that will help improve their RQS and then help them qualify to regionals, and then from there, they hope to qualify to nationals. Full to a front tuck.
Heather Height won a Catesby her rookie year, which is one of the Kentucky awards.
She's an extremely hard worker, and it pays off on the competition floor. She's pretty intense in competition as well, if you watch her from the sidelines. Always focused, attacking every skill in her routine. Final pass, a difficult D-level double back. Strong routine for Heather Height. Again, we're not seeing some of the huge difficulty that we saw from some of the Florida, Georgia, and even Alabama athletes, the E-level skills, but a strong routine.
Score, 9.825 for Heather Height, helping out the 20th ranked Kentucky Wildcats. Morgan Dennis is up next on the vault for Alabama. Remember, Ricky Lebergan had a 9.95 previously.
Looking for that 9.9 average. Yurchenko layout full, pops this one up into the air, just a slight pike in the hips before the landing, but another solid, clean landing for the Tide. She has that explosive power that always pays off on this event. Beautiful height. You can see just a tiny pike in her hips before the landing. Oh, a 9.95, another great score for Alabama. Their first 3 vaults up went 9.75, 9.825, and a 9.8. So what do they need here to tie Georgia?
A 9.95 by Kayla Hoffman will tie the Georgia Gym Dogs.
Anything bigger will take the lead. A Yurchenko layout full, another excellent executed vault. Kayla Hoffman, just a freshman, having a fantastic year. Nice pop off the vaulting table, good height and distance, but yes, she takes a hop on the landing. The judges need to take a 1/10 deduction.
Oh, and a 9.925. Sarah Patterson reacting. 25 100ths will separate Georgia from Alabama. When we come back, the Gators will have their final crack at the Georgia Gym Dogs. 2008 SEC Gymnastics Championships, and a record crowd has gathered here at the Gwinnett Center. 9,002, in fact, have come to watch a great battle, which has gone down to 3 teams. And the three have now been cut to 2. The Gators need a 49.2 as a team on the beam to tie the Georgia Gym Dogs. Anything above that will win it for the Gators. Anything below that, and the Georgia Gym Dogs have won their 3rd outright title in the last 4 years. It's Rebecca Zeiser who will begin things for the Gators on the beam. She's been a rock, starting the Gators off all season long.
It's a layout series. Switch leap, twist, 2 straddle jumps. Any bonus points there? Arrow, back handspring. And the dismount. A clean round-off double full, steps on the landing. She took one skill at a time, maintained her focus. A great start for the Gators. Look at the dismount again. Round off double twist. Excellent job of maintaining her position in the air. Her legs were glued together. Just a tiny step on the landing.
Score of 9.85. A lot of pressure on Florida. Georgia can only watch. This is Melanie Sinclair for the Gators.
Twisting back handspring, gainer back handspring, layout step out, fights for the landing but takes a wobble. To compete beam like you are very confident with every skill, not as if you're just trying not to fall off. You must attack it. Continue to say your verbal cues in your head before every skill. Dismount, round off double pike. Dismount, step on the landing, but another hit for the Gators. Very difficult and excellent tumble series right here. She does a full twisting back handspring. So much risk involved in that element because of the twisting. Into a gainer back handspring and a layout. She's quick to recover and maintain her balance, just taking a wobble.
Score of a 9.825. Gators keeping it in the 8s, 9.8 or better so far. Still in need of one of those big scores, though, if they're going to get a chance to catch the Georgia Gym Dogs. But this might be the lady to do it.
This is the one that can put up the big score for the Gators. For her beautiful lines, her flexibility, and her originality. Starting here. Handspring layout. Landing solidly in a scale position that is original and unique. Again, showing off her flexibility in a scale. Leap to a Shushnova with a quarter turn. Impeccable lines in her split position throughout her tick-tock. Arrow, back handspring, swing down. Smooth and stylish. These athletes do many repetitions every day in the gym, and this is when it pays off. You're relying on that muscle memory right here when you're under pressure. The dismount, 2.5 twist, tiny hop on the landing. They are trying to hold on to every 10th possible right now.
Good performance by Corey Hartung.
I absolutely love this tumble series. Again, it's original. No one else in the conference does the back handspring layout to land in a scale.
And a 9.9. So it all comes down to this. Amanda Castillo, the final competitor for the Gators. She needs a 9.825 to tie Georgia. And who else would you want on there but the sophomore here? Three-time All-American.
Florida's hit, but their combined score is not high enough to beat Georgia yet. That's why they need the 9.825 here from Amanda, but I'm sure they're going for that 9.85 to get the win. Answering Leo 2 foot, and she's crooked in the air and off.
So the title, it's headed back to Athens and the Georgia Gym Dogs. 3 out of 4 years they're the champions.
7 times this year, Amanda has reached that 9.85 score, but this is such tremendous pressure, probably the most that she has competed with in her life. Tough break for the defending SEC champions, Florida Gators. But you know, that's Beam under pressure. Still concentrating through to the end because it's a tough dismount. A difficult E-level round-off double pike. She does that with no problem. But it was the series that gave her issues tonight. You can see her concentrating, giving herself those verbal cues before this crucial series. But her legs come around the side, in the air. She's crooked on the landing. Her hips turn, and boom. She's off the beam, 5/10 deduction.
9.4 the score for Amanda Castillo. The Georgia Gym Dogs have won it again. A 197.35. They are ahead of Alabama, who ties with Florida for second, and LSU finishes fourth. Gator fans applauding the performance, but the Florida Gators still in shock. It will not be back-to-back. Instead, it's the Georgia Bulldogs who win the 2008 title. Lori Strong-Ballard will talk to the winners right after this. Here's a Georgia, only one title they have not won thus far. They win another SEC Gymnastics Championship. They finish with a team score of 197.35, and they'll be at home trying to defend their national championship. Let's check in with Lori Strong-Ballard, who's down on the floor with the winners, the Georgia Gym Dogs.
So Georgia takes it back. Congratulations, Suzanne, on your 16th SEC championship title. What did you think of the competition? It was one of the most closely contested and competitive ever.
I actually could not believe it. It was close the whole way. I'm just glad we were the first ones off the floor and we could just hang back and watch and see how it unfolded at the end. The draw, which I hated, ended up being absolutely perfect for us. We were able to just compete and not be concerned about anything, not feel a lot of pressure, just do our thing and make everyone else catch us. They almost did.
Now, Katie, you and your senior class have only missed out on one SEC title. How good does it feel to bring back this SEC championship title to Georgia?
It's so awesome to have it back in our hands. We have been wanting this since last year when we lost it, and we're so excited to have it back and take it from here and do what we need to do so that we can have the other title in our hands also.
And what a great crowd here today, and you guys host national championships next month. What do you think about that?
That's right. Well, we're really excited. Our fans were incredible. The atmosphere in here was so intense, and we're looking forward to having that same kind of atmosphere, just boost our performance when we're at home for NC2As, and we're going for 4 straight in a row.
Well, good luck with that. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura.
Back to you, Bernie.
What a night for the senior Katie Heenan, who does her part and brings back the title to Athens, Georgia. And another brilliant performance tonight for Ashley Claire Kearney. She becomes the first LSU Tiger since Rachel Fergie in 1991 to bring home the all-around title back to Baton Rouge. She finishes with an all-around score of 39.6 and brings home that prestigious trophy. A 9.925 for her on the vault, a 9.9 on the floor. Help her to win the SEC all-around title, and she's standing by with Lori Strong-Ballard.
So, Ashley, you've won many all-around titles in your career, but now finally in your senior year, you win the big one, the SEC all-around title. How does that feel?
Oh, it feels great to know that all my hard work has paid off, and you know, it definitely helps to have the teammates that I have and the coaches and all the support that we have behind me, because I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without them. But it definitely feels great. It's an honor.
And what a great year for you. Not only do you win the all-around title here, but you were honored as SEC Gymnast of the Year. Does that feel good finally in your senior year?
Oh yeah, definitely. It feels great. I mean, just like winning the all-around here. This conference is so tough, so it's definitely something that's very hard to do, but I've worked so hard and my team has worked so hard, and I guess we got something out of this meet, something positive came out of this meet, but we definitely still have work to do, and that includes me. We're going to go back in the gym and figure out what it takes to be on top.
Well, congratulations. 2 great honors today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lori. Congratulations. The Georgia Gym Dogs will bring home their 16th SEC Gymnastics Championship. For Lori Strong-Ballard, I'm Bernie Gunther, saying so long from Duluth, Georgia. Congrats to the Gym Dogs.